Welcome back to HotTakes, the series where you guys make the content for me. Let's get started. Speed Cola is a top 3 perk of the original system. Yeah, I 100% agree. 50% faster reload speed, you can't argue with that. It's useful almost all the time. The original 4 perks have the best jingles. I mean, perk jingles, you are going to notice a theme throughout this video. They are very subjective, and obviously people will have very differing opinions. I think that Speed Cola, the Shadows of Evil version specifically, is the best jingle of all time, but I do think other perks do have better jingles. Vulture Aid is better than Double Tap? Yeah, I 100% agree. If Custom Zombies showed me anything, it's that Vulture Aid is quite literally the best perk of all time. Cold War's perk system is better than Black Ops 4's, but not as good as the original series? Yeah, I'd agree with that. BO4's perk system was flawed, and Cold War's was definitely flawed, but I do think Cold War's is better than BO4's. Something Black Ops 2 did best was each map had a unique selection of perks. Wish Black Ops 3 did this. Also, PhD Flopper and Vulture Aid should have been on every map in BO3. I mean, BO3 does kind of do this because Chronicles do have different perks to the DLC maps, and obviously the Giant is restricted to the amount of perks you have. Same with Shadows of Evil, so they do have unique combinations of perks, it's just that they reuse the same ones, and PhD Flopper should not have come back to BO3, would have made no difference whatsoever. You can't even flop, you do the slides, and explosive weapons, because of Double Pack Punch, were the worst in the game, so PhD would have made fuck all difference, and Vulture Aid would have broken Black Ops 3, even more than Gobblegums did. Cold War's perk system was the best to date. I kind of agree with this. I really liked some features of Cold War, such as upgrading the perks, but I think that some aspects just didn't age very well, such as you could make yourself really overpowered, and yeah, it's a PvE mode, but at the same time, if it's too easy, then it's too easy. But at the same time, I liked the perk jingles, the perk machines were gorgeous, I didn't mind the cans, and the concept of upgrading your perks was a very good idea, something that I think Cold War did better than the other games. Tombstone is a great perk for co-op. No it isn't. It's useful in one specific circumstance, that's for getting all the perks on Town Survival. Other than that though, Tombstone is pretty much useless, and you're only handicapping your team as well as yourself when you choose to run this perk in co-op. Black Ops 1 perks were the best lineup as they felt like they had genuine pros and cons depending on how you wanted to play the game. This is just so this is just not a good argument at all, because literally every perk system, you could say the exact same thing. Let me just give an example. BO3 perks were the best lineup as they felt like they had genuine pros and cons. You see what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It feels like an ego stroke on the worst ends and on the lower ends, just an excuse to dick ride Black Ops 1. Black Ops 4 has an incredible perk system. It's probably in the top 5 best, but I don't think it's in the top 3, and I wouldn't consider it to be the best by any means. Winter's Wail is the best perk ever. No. Vulture Aid's better. Cold War Mule Kick's better. Widow's Wine, in my opinion, is better. Winter's Wail is one of the best in BO4, but we've just had so many good perks, I wouldn't consider it to be the best by any means. It's kind of the same story with Victorious Tortoise. Like, it's a really good perk in BO4, but that's because the BO4 shields were really good. Like, if you tried using Victorious in BO2 and 3, it just wouldn't work as well. It's still a good perk, make no mistake, but it just wouldn't work in the other games. Classic Deadshot is a great perk for PC players. I don't even know what to say to this, it's just flat out not true. Stamina Up has replaced Speed Cola as the core 4 perks in my mind. This is an interesting take, and one that I actually kind of agree with to an extent, although I'd agree with it more if you said Stamina Up replaced Double Tap too, because my high round strat, like perk setup if you like, is always Jug, Widow's Wine, Stamina Up, and Speed Cola. So I kind of agree with this, but at the same time, Speed Cola is still really good, even when you have fast mags, because obviously it works with wonder weapons, something that fast mags isn't applicable to in BO3. So I sort of agree with this, but not really. Shadows of Evil Speed Cola has the best perk jingle of all time. I mean, musical taste is subjective, but I 100% agree. It's literally the best. What can I say? Holy shit, Leopard coming in with the 8 hot takes. Honestly, much love to you, my dear. Let's get through these as quick as I can. Double Tap 1 isn't as bad as everyone says it is. I completely agree. It increases your DPS with all your guns. I think the main reason people hate it is because it exposes just how dogshit the weapons were in BO1 and how little ammo they all had. Stamina Up is better than Double Tap 2 overall. I would agree, especially for high rounds, because Double Tap becomes useless useless in the 40s and 50s, whereas stamina up is useful forever. Obviously in BO3 it's slightly different because double tap makes its the double pack-a-punch effects activate more frequently. Still, I would agree with this. The Vanguard perk system was better than Cold War's and how they handled them. I don't agree with this at all. I think Cold War's perks, whilst yes, they made you overpowered, I'm not denying that, at the very least you had to earn it, and I think they handled balancing way better, where they made the perks more expensive as you bought them, so you buy like the more essential ones first, and you also lost almost all of them when you go down. Compare that to Vanguard, where you have to spend like thousands of points every single time, every game, just to upgrade them, and when you go down, you don't even lose them, they just regress one stage. It's so weird, and I don't like Vanguard's system at all, so I completely disagree with this. BO4 had some great perk ideas. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think some of the ideas were pretty cool, and the fact that they paid homage to previous perks were really good, such as Zombie Wolf and Blood Wolf Bite, essentially paying homage to Vulture Aid. Original PhD Flopper is overrated to hell. Yes, I agree. It's literally the most overrated perk in all of COD Zombies. There's no denying this. It has 3 abilities, one of them useless and very impractical. The 0 fall damage is only useful on one specific point on Call of the Dead, and the 0 explosive damage becomes useless in the 40s. PhD Slider, both versions I might add, are better than Flopper. I will debate you on the topic if you disagree. Elemental Pop was such a good perk idea. Yeah, I agree. It's a very simple concept, and I think that if they put it in BO3 and BO4, well, maybe not BO4, because the double pack-a-punch effects weren't as fun or iconic, but if they put it in BO3, that would have been quite cool. Ethereal Razor was one of the best perks added into BO4. That is a hot take, holy shit. I don't agree with that at all. I don't think Ethereal Razor is even in my top 5 favorites for BO4. It was a unique concept, and obviously it pairs really well with Electric Burst for a certain high round strats, but the perk overall is just not really my thing. Depth Perception on BO4 was a good perk? No. I think Depth Perception was the closest that BO4 had to a completely useless perk. 3 abilities, you can see zombies through walls. Generally speaking, if you can see an enemy through a wall, that enemy is in no danger to you. You gain Tobey Maguire's sense when a zombie is about to hit you. I mean, who gives a shit? Just equip a shield. You don't need to know when a zombie's about to bite your butt cheeks. And doing bonus damage to boss enemies, just get the Helion Salvo. Like, you don't need to waste a perk slot on this. Winter's Wail is better than Widow's Wine. I disagree with this. Obviously, Winter's Wail is more potent than Widow's Wine, but if you're using these perks to kill zombies, you're using it wrong. Obviously, these perks were intended to save your ass, and I think Widow's Wine is better in that regard, just because it recharges so much fucking faster. And yeah, you can use Time Slip, but at the end of the day, you don't need, like, another perk to assist a perk, especially when Widow's Wine needs nothing. You just need a really powerful weapon, maybe some gobblegums if you're feeling spicy, and that's it. Widow's Wine has the worst perk jingle of all time, same with PhD Flopper. I don't know how you can say this when Electric Cherry's perk jingle exists. It's literally just atmospheric noise, like it's the most boring jingle of all time. OG Mule Kick isn't that good of a perk. I think in Black Ops 1 it's not very good, just because you can lose it very easily, but in BO2 and BO3, when you had perma-perks and gobblegums which could prevent you from losing Mule Kick, I think it was much better in those games, but at the end of the day, Black Ops 4 and Cold War just buffed Mule Kick so much that this would be the worst version of the perk. Time Slip is the best Treyarch perk to this day. I can't agree with this. Time Slip is one of my favourite Black Ops 4 perks, and I run it almost all the time, but to say that it's better than Widow's Wine, or Vulture Aid, or Cold War Mule Kick, or Jug even? Yeah, there's no fucking way, I'm sorry. Like, yeah, it has cool abilities, especially with its modifier, but it's useful, but it's not the best. Speedcaller is borderline useless in Black Ops 3 with bullet weapons. No, not really. It just pairs really well with the fast mags attachment, making it even better than it already was. Black Ops 3 has the second worst perk roster behind World at War. No, not really. It literally has Black Ops 1's perk roster, but if you swap PhD for Electric Cherry and Widow's Wine. And if you're going to try say that PhD is better than Electric Cherry and Widow's Wine, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're just dick riding for Black Ops 1. I don't mind debating you on the topic. IW had the best perk roster of any game. I kind of agree, but at the same time, I just think BO3 and Cold War also had really good ones, but IW would definitely be in my top 3. The only good jingle out of the original 4 is Speedcaller, the others are mid or bad. I don't agree with that. I think Speedcaller Shadows of Evil version is my favourite of all time, as I previously said. But I think all of them are just classic, like, everyone knows them, they're all fun jingles. I think that we all like them, well, everyone except this guy, apparently. Widow's Wine is a top 5 best perk if you want a high round. Yeah, I agree. Widow's Wine has saved my ass so many times in high round runs, it's actually kind of concerning if I'm honest. Whether it's a top 5 perk of all time, I don't know. But in the original series, so like World at War to BO3, it's easily one of the best. Vulture Aid has the best perk jingle. I don't agree with that. I think Vulture Aid's jingle is kind of forgettable, even if I do quite like the tone of it. But the lyrics aren't that good, and it just could have been way better. I hate Electric Cherry and Burst because of the visual effects. I mean, the visual effects aren't that bad. Like, if you played the game after having an entire bottle of wine, then maybe the effects would be bad. But whenever I'm playing Mob of the Dead, specifically, it's mainly just the flashing lightning effects that bother me. Electric Cherry and Burst really aren't that bad. Bro, what is it with people disrespecting Speedcaller today? Speedcaller is the most overrated perk? No, not at all. PhD Flopper from BO1 is easily the most overrated perk. It's not even a comparison. And again, if you want to debate Speedcaller versus PhD Flopper, join the Discord server, we can do that debate. So we've gone from disrespecting Speedcaller to simping for it. Speedcaller can be more important than Jug? No, not at all. Like, there is never a situation where I'm buying Speedcaller before Jug, and even then, like, you can live without Speedcaller for certain high round strats and stuff, or maybe you just prefer double tap or whatever, but Jug, you literally always get. Like, it's such a game changer, it's such an important perk. There's never a scenario where Speedcaller is better than Jug. Well, I asked for hot takes and not facts, but I guess I'll just leave it in the video anyway, because Mob's the GOAT. Shadows of Evil perk jingles are complete ass, and regular Quick Revive has the best jingle of any perk. I mean, I know that you're a Shadows of Evil hater, which is fair enough, but like, I don't see how the Shadows jingles are worse than Electric Cherry. Like, sure, jazz music might not be your thing, but at the very least they're kinda cool, where like, Electric Cherry is just sound. It's just atmospheric sound. And Shadows of Evil Speedcaller is my favorite jingle of all time, so I don't know, maybe I'm just biased. Again, I don't even need to go over these ones. PhD Flopper is overrated. Like, it's not a hot take. These guys are just spitting facts. Electric Cherry, PhD Flopper, and Double Tap are all trash. I don't agree with this at all. If you saw my tier list video where I ranked all the perks, these were all like B and C tier perks. Like, they were all pretty mid-average perks, and I would never consider any of them to be trash, even though we have ragged on PhD Flopper quite a lot in this video. Like, I just think they're all like average perks. I would never consider them bad, and certainly not trash. So yeah, this is a pretty big hot take. Anyways, guys, that's all the hot takes for today. Go away now.